Hello and welcome to a special Q&A recording of Beginning, one of the 50 official selection titles at the 45th Toronto International Film Festival. Thank you to our audience for joining us. As an organization still impacted by COVID-19, we need your support so that we can continue to present films to future generations and to preserve these important voices. My name is Dorota Lech, and I'm TIFF's curator of Central and Eastern European cinema, as well as the lead programmer of Discovery, a showcase of new talent from around the world. Discovery presents the first and second features of daring directors and is a place to unearth art that is bold, distinctive, adventurous, and above all passionate. I'm thrilled to be here with Dea Kulumbegashvili, writer and director of Beginning. This film is eligible for the People's Choice Award, and you can vote for as many films as you like at tiff.net/vote. Dea, first of all, welcome and thank you so much for joining us, and congratulations on your first feature, which is really quite impressive.
Thank you very much. Hello, Dorota. And I just want to thank everyone who came to watch the film and the selectors who picked up the film for the festival. And especially in the time of the pandemic, I think that it's important to show the films to the audiences around the world. So I think that's all that matters, that some people will be still able to watch the film despite the fact that we filmmakers are unable to actually attend the screenings. But I'm actually happy knowing that people have watched the film, and thank you for that.
And it's such a shame because it's really your first screening. It's the world premiere of your first feature. So we're so sad to not be able to celebrate with you, but we will be toasting to you in the cinema afterwards.
Thank you.
So, could we start? I wanted to start by asking you, could you tell us where the story came from, as you also wrote the script?
Well, the story, a few years ago, I was in Georgia, in the village where I am from, and my family is also from that village. And my father was telling me that there is this community of Jehovah's Witnesses that's growing. And part of the community is also the people in the community are related to my family. And I just saw them like accidentally. They just came to see me, and I started to feel how much they feel like they're outsiders, despite the fact that they actually live in the place where they're born and raised, and they have been like living there all their lives. Mm-hmm. And that was maybe the initial idea, to actually go and look at the community closer and see how they live and what are the hardships that they are going through every day. And at the same time, I was actually thinking for quite a while about the story of a woman who maybe in any other film would be a secondary character. Mm. And to me, it was very important to look at the so-called like traditional narrative of cinema or the storytelling, and to look at the characters who are not on the foreground necessarily. Mm. All the time. And I think that many things were just happening at the same time, and it just came together that this woman was the main character. Yana was the main character of the film. But then it took me a few years actually to really write a script, because I had these thoughts, but it was not really clear to me how I would want to approach writing and what the film would be really about. But I think the most important aspect is that the more I was thinking about this woman who I considered to be the main character of the film, the more I understood how to structure the story itself and how to actually tell her story. And I am still convinced after even the film is made and we can watch it, that in any other film, this woman would be not a main character in the film. It was really important for me in the process of writing as well.
That's so interesting. And I do have to say that Aya, if I pronounce her name correctly, Aya Sukhitashvili is quite brilliant as Yana. And in fact, your whole cast, Rati Oneli, who I suppose is also your producer, as David, her husband, and Kakha Kintsurashvili as Alex, the police officer. How did you assemble this cast? What was your selection like?
Well, the casting was pretty. Actually, I would consider that in a way, to the certain degree. To me, it's like when I'm writing, I do imagine people who might be acting in the film. At Georgia, we do have many amazing actors, but the casting process is not very easy because actors come mostly from the theater and from the dramatic theater background, which actually comes from mostly theater background. She's actually a brilliant actress. She can do anything. And the casting was a very long process. But somehow all of these people joined the film pretty late on because I was considering many actors and I was doing workshops and I was working because usually I like to workshop the script with actors. The casting is not just the person coming into the room and reading the scene. For me, I really need to spend some time with actors and I need to see what is in them that maybe was not written in the character, but there is something in this person that they actually can bring to the character. For example, Kakha, the police officer, initially I wrote the character which was pretty different, but then I thought that Kakha's energy, which is really opposite to what was written, ended up being more important to me and more interesting than to have the more straightforward casting in terms of to have more rigid and more like maybe brutal like energy coming from an actor, because Kakha is very sensitive and he has almost like child face. He's almost an opposite of the character. But with Iya, first of all, I think she's an incredible actress, and the day she came to the casting, we were just absolutely convinced, because even the way she was dressed at the casting, that's basically how her entire wardrobe was assembled in the film. Like her hair, she looked exactly the same. You know, this is how she came to the casting. And then she's an actress of incredible range, and she's actually I would love to work with her in the future, because she's really dedicated to what she does, and she really wants to go like into the depths of the script, and she really understands that it's not the script that you're shooting, but you're actually shooting the film, and there is something which goes beyond what's written. And Rati, he was there from the beginning, but actually he was the one who joined the cast the latest. Yes, because for a long time I was trying to convince him to be film, and because he's not a professional actor, he's actually a film director, and he did not want to act because he thought that it was too much of a responsibility for him. But at the end, when he started to try, and we did a lot of rehearsals. We were doing rehearsals for months and months, and every day we would just come to the room and workshop the script. And I just convinced Rati to start to do it with us, and if it would work for him and if he would feel comfortable. And I think he did a brilliant job. And I'm very grateful to my cast, because I think they all were really there for me and for the film, and I think they invested themselves so much into the film that it goes beyond just only a work. In a way, they really wanted to do their best, I guess. So,
what was the most difficult scene to shoot? Because there are many incredible scenes and a few quite jarring scenes, and I'm wondering what took the most effort.
I mean, technically, obviously, the most difficult scene was the first one, if we look at it technically, but I would say that it was not the most difficult to shoot. We had only one take, so, and we did prepare for 2 days, I think, for the shot, and much, like, even longer in advance, like technically, and with special effects artists and with extras. But I don't know what's maybe this is specific to me. I don't know how other directors work, but for me, the easiest things are usually the most difficult to shoot. Like some of the things I have shot 2 and 3 times, and it's I'm not embarrassed to say it, because I think that it's a learning experience, and making your first feature, and but I guess it's just like that for even for your 10th feature. You're learning, and sometimes it's such a simple scene, and you just cannot understand. It's sometimes very really well written, well rehearsed, and then I do have a storyboard and I do have a shot list. But then on set, if I do not feel the connection with what's really happening in front of the camera, I just cannot accept that this is going to be in the film, because I don't think anything really can help it later on. So it needs to, in a way, happen on set. And especially with timing and how the shots are structured, to me, it's really important to connect to the time that exists within a shot and in the film. So I am always next to the camera, or like I sit on the floor next to the camera. I really need to feel connection. Right. For example, the police scene, it's the simplest thing. She comes just to knock. Yeah. I mean, that was shot 3 times, actually. And it was really embarrassing, because I needed to go to the producers and to the crew and say that I'm sorry.
No, your perfectionism really comes through. And I think another really beautiful thing I just noticed about you is you speak so generously about the people you work with, which makes me then just want to ask you more questions about your collaborators, if you don't mind. Because I think it's important to say the film was shot on 35 by your longtime collaborator, Arseni Turan, if I pronounce that correctly. It's edited by Mathieu Teponier, who's known for editing Laszlo Nemesh's Son of Saul, and has original music by the experimental electronic composer Nicholas Jarre. So you really assemble incredible teams, and I wonder if you can talk more about those decisions too.
Well, with Arseni, it's, we met when he's 27. I would say Arseni is a very young, a really amazing cinematographer, and I'm so happy to see him really doing so well from like one film to another. And we shot my short film Lete together. He was, I think, 23 at that point. And initially why I wanted to work with him, because I saw the still photos that he was taking, and I just could see how much he would connect with what was happening in front of camera. And that this connection that he has with people, and he can really grasp something that, independent of who is taking the photo, it's like exists in its own time and its own space, and you can see people in his photos. And we started to work together, and then he also shot Rati's documentary City of the Sun. And we have spent so much time together, and we were preparing for this film for 5 years or 4 years together, actually. And Arseni, I mean, we went through, we don't really talk that much anymore. And I think it's an amazing thing. It's a great comfort to not to need to really talk. I mean, when I'm always next to him on set, so he kind of like understands if I like something or what. But we work really closely on the storyboard and the location scouting, and actually, I think I have been blessed with an amazing team, because also the producers, we worked on Lete also together on the short film. So we really know each other, and we know each other's process, because I think making your first feature, the most difficult and most challenging thing is to gain trust for people to believe in what you're doing. And it's not always easy. And I do believe that if you come on set and you will try to establish your authority, that's not the way I would want to work.
Right.
I would want to allow people to, to take their time to connect with the film and to connect with the material. And I need to connect with them, and they need to connect with me. Because it's such an intimate process for a director, but at the same time, you need to allow these people into your world. And I was really blessed in a way, because we're we're friends. Like actually, Ilan and David are here, producers of the film, and I don't know. It feels, I don't know anymore. Like it feels strange, like how the life is after the film, or like what happens beyond. And with Nico Lajar, Nico is also a friend, and I really have a lot of respect for what he does. But most importantly, for how much length he goes to actually get to know you, get to know what you're doing. He was in Georgia, I think, 1 year before I even started to shoot. He came to Georgia to see the places, to see the locations, to spend some time with me, and like we traveled around, and then he was also in Mexico where I was editing with Matthew. Wow. Matthew was on set also for the entire shoot, and he was there for the storyboarding and for the like shot list. We all worked very closely. And how do I choose the team? I don't know. To me, the personal connection, like if I can connect with people, that's, I think, what matters, because technically you can figure out everything. But what matters is if you can really allow these people into your world, and if you can enter in a way their world, because after all, you spend so much time together. And it's on some of the days I'm so exhausted that I cannot spend hours explaining. And it's
that's very interesting. I have one more question. I actually have 100 more questions for you, and your answers are so thoughtful. But could you please talk about the title Beginning and what it means to you for this film?
Well, title was the most difficult part of the film, because it was called, it had a totally different title, which I never liked, by the way, but some people liked in the team, including Arseni and Rati, by the way. They were really attached to the old title, but I was bothered because I thought it was the title from a different film. And then we were in Mexico, and we finished editing. I think at that point it was just me and Arseni. We were waiting for the color grading process to start. And we were just talking about, I was unhappy. And then I said that, in the Bible, there is a phrase that in the beginning there was a word, and the word was God. I don't know if I'm quoting it correctly in... And I said that to me, Yana, this woman, has something which constantly brings me back to this line. And strangely enough, Arseni said that, oh, maybe your film is called The Beginning. And how it connects is that, because we had so many different ideas, but it's just immediately understood that, yes, it's true. That's why I was always going to this line, because the film for me is about something to begin or to end. And we never know if if something begins in the actual beginning of the film or in the end. I mean, I have my own idea, but I just don't want to say more about it. But it was like, I don't know, it's explaining it, it's simple now, but in a moment I just understood that that's why I was thinking about this line, because constantly through the making of the film I was going back to this line and was just repeating it over and over, but I did not know how was it connected to the title of the film.
It's a great title. It's a fantastic film, and I'm genuinely so excited for our audiences to see it, and for audiences around the world to see it. I want to thank you so much for being with us. It means so much to me to meet you. As I've told you, I think 100 times, I really was so impressed by your filmmaking. The fact that this is a first feature blew all of our minds on the programming team. So we just want to say congratulations from all of us, and thank you. And you mentioned that your team is also in the room. Are there other people we can wave to? Is there?
That's Ilan and David. They're here because we're in Paris. Just 3 of us this time.
Hi, everyone.
Hi.
This is nice Ilan and David.
Thank you so much for joining us. And until we meet again or for the first time, thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. And I hope that we meet in person sometime soon.
We will. We will.